a Christian school not only took their ball and went home, but are now suing school officials over the inclusion of transgender athletes. Now, on Tuesday, the hate group Alliance Defending Freedom filed a lawsuit on behalf of the Vermont Christian School after claiming that they were prohibited from competing in future sports tournaments as a result of their decision to forfeit a girls' basketball game back in February against a team that has a transgender girl on their team. So now, in a statement, the ADF said, Vermont Christian is a highly respected school that has excelled in both academics and athletics. And many families send their children to the school for these reasons. But the state is not excluding Vermont Christian from its town tuitioning program and from competing in middle school and high school sports because of the school's religious beliefs. No, it's actually discrimination here. Look, this doesn't have anything to do with religious beliefs. They literally refused to play a basketball game because the other team had a transgender player. It's ridiculous. So the lawsuit from Vermont Christian claims the school was removed from the Vermont Principals Association due to the forfeiture. It's not. It's actually because they wanted to discriminate, which is against Vermont state law. But they say that this act violates their constitutional freedoms. The state has put plaintiffs to the following unconstitutional choice: adhere to their religious beliefs and be excluded from the town tuitioning program and all VPA activities and events, or abandon their religious beliefs and be eligible to receive town tuitioning program funding and participate in VPA activities and events like everyone else. The state is entitled to its own views, but it's not entitled, nor is the Constitution, to force private religious schools across the state to follow that orthodoxy as a condition to participating in Vermont's tuitioning program and the state's athletic association. Now, Lauren Thomas, Assistant Executive Director of the Vermont Principals Association, said an objection or protest of this nature is a first for the state of Vermont. Never seen this before. Quote, it's the first time where a school has expressed that they were withdrawing over those concerns. We have transgender athletes in various sports, not just basketball, and not just in team sports. We have individuals, so we have students that are participating as they are. And it's never caused a problem before, but no. Here comes, and by the way, they didn't play against them, okay, against the team with the transgender athlete. They didn't play against that athlete at all. They just left. They forfeit. No, we're not going to do it. We refuse. We refuse. Why? What do you think that one player, that one single player was going to defeat your team? Doesn't speak very highly of your athletic program. I mean, at least of what you think about your own athletes. Thomas added that the VPA and Vermont Agency of Education already have established policies regarding trans athletes. The VPA statement released per the Bennington Banner stated, supporting transgender student athletes is not only a core part of building an inclusive community for each student to grow and thrive, it is also a clear expectation by Vermont state law in the Agency of Education best practices and a VPA policy regarding transgender student athletes. In a statement issued to the Bennington Banner in February, Vicky Fogg, the head of the Vermont Christian School, said, we withdrew from the tournament because we believe playing against an opponent with a biological male jeopardizes the fairness of the game and the safety of our players. Allowing biological males to participate in women's sports sets a bad precedent for the future of women's sports in general. No, I think that's the attitude that sets a bad precedent for women's sports. Because you're saying that your entire team cannot stand up to one transgender student? That's ridiculous. In March, the VPA letter cited that published statement from Fogg in their justification of the decision to remove that school. Quote, the school's actions do not meet the expectations of the VPA's first and second policy, commitment to racial, gender, fair, and disability awareness, and policy of gender identity, respectively. Look, this is a religious school attempting to use their religion to justify discrimination. That's it. Again, they're doing that, and the point that I keep harping on too is fair. Oh, it's fairness. It's fairness. It's fair. No, you're saying that your entire team cannot face off against one transgender athlete, one against an entire team. I don't know if any trans person or any person that could completely cancel out an entire team. All right. Okay, sure. Maybe it's Michael Jordan versus a bunch of 12-year-olds. That's not what's going on here. We're talking teen girls, largely competing for fun. Okay? Middle school, high school. That's it. This is not professional sports. In fact, when it comes to professional sports, there's actually little to no scientific research on the performance of trans athletes at the highest level of sports, much less school sports. So, where's the science? Where's the science here? Okay? You make all these claims, oh, it's a safety, jeopardizes fairness, when we actually don't have any data regarding that. So, again, the science, by the way, we do have science that says we don't back trans bans. They don't make any sense. Now, are there some studies that point to some residual strength and muscle mass advantages for trans women? Yes. Yes. That doesn't mean, though, that you're automatically going to be more skilled at a sport because you have some residual muscle mass. Not only that, but researchers have continuously stressed two things. For one, biological sex isn't as straightforward, and testosterone doesn't play as big a role in sports performance as people think. I mean, I guess unless you're roided out. And again, the role that plays really matters when we're talking about the highest levels of competitive sports, where skill levels between players are pretty evenly matched. Maybe that slight advantage might mean something, but we're talking high school sports. What they're doing here is trying to solve a problem that is not a problem. It doesn't actually exist. And in trying to solve that problem, you're creating a different problem. And that's exclusion. You're creating an exclusionary environment for young trans athletes who just want to be part of the team. And look, they barely exist in sports as it is. Trans people make up at less than 1.5% of the population. I know that there are conservatives that think that there's a trans person across the corner, around the corner, everywhere they look. I mean, somewhere up to, they believe 20% of the population is trans. No, it's 1.5%. Okay. And according to a report from the Human Rights Campaign, just 1 in 10 trans boys and trans girls play sports in America as it is. This is a non-existent problem. And that's why all these politicians, when they're asked, because they're out there promoting these anti-trans bills and laws, when asked, they can never give you an example of how a trans athlete has destroyed all fairness in these sports. They don't have any examples of it, okay? But this doesn't happen. What this is a wedge issue that's being used to attack children who are different. That's it. LGBTQ children. It's cruelty wrapped up in the veneer of fairness. They don't actually care about women's sports. They don't care about it at all. And they also don't care about the First Amendment. This is not about their religion. No, this has everything to do with discrimination. Using their religion to justify discrimination, when in reality, generally religion says treat everybody as a child of God, treat everybody equally the way that you're supposed to. But they never listen to that, because when it comes to again, these groups and certain people, they want to think that they're better than everyone else and use their own beliefs to beat everyone else down.